Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and today I'm here with a design team post for Fairy Stamper. Today I'm going to be using Dancing Mushrooms, Birds, Ed. Winston I don't end up using. I am using Bryla, Believe, Lantern Tree, and then MorningWillow paper. I'm making a 5.5 inch card. I cut down a layering panel that is 5¼ inches, and then I cut down the pattern paper to 5 inches. And I'm going to start stamping on there, and I'm going to kind of move my stuff around to figure out where exactly I want it. Did you ever have an idea for a card and then nothing worked out like you were thinking? And so you had to come up with a totally new idea that was not where you were. But I actually ended up happy with it, but that's where I am today with this card. So I had a completely different idea of what I was doing with this, and then I don't know exactly what I was thinking and where I thought I was putting all of these stamps on a 5.5 inch card, but I did think that for a moment. And then I had to kind of go through this process in my head of how it was all going to work, because I wanted the fairy to be on top of the tree, but I wanted the whole tree on there, which there's no way she could have been on top of the tree. So like I said, there was a lot of things. I don't know where my mind was. I think it's just really busy right now with holidays and work and everything else, and my mind was just not together when I was coming up with this thought process. In any case, so I am now going to stamp the fairy on there, and I'm just making sure that I'm going to have enough room for the sentiment, even though I don't end up putting the sentiment there. But that was what I was doing there. So like I said, my mind was just not together when I was making this card. And especially since I had a whole plan in my head of how it was going to be. And then it just, like I said, didn't end up working out that way. Now, especially since this one is more of a solid stamp, you do want to stamp that a couple times just to make sure you get a good crisp image if you have the ability to do that. Then I am going to stamp Ed. Like I said, I do not end up using Winston, but I do end up using the Happy Birthday from Fairy Words also on this. And that's going to be the sentiment that is on the front. So I'm going to stamp Ed twice, and then we are going to get moving on that. I am going to stamp the dancing mushrooms just because I think they're super cute and I wanted to use them, and I'm going to stamp them right there next to Ed. And then I am going to decide I am going to put the birds up in the corner, and I am going to do a banner Happy Birthday, and I'm going to put the sentiment Always Believe Something Wonderful is About to Happen on the inside of the card, to which I also make a panel for that, and for that I make a 5-inch panel that is just white cardstock that I put on the inside since I'm using a black card base. So this is where I'm going to cut down the inside, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and I'm going to stamp the inside before I kind of piece this card together. But I would like to thank you all for joining me and let you know to head over to the Facebook group for Fairy Stamper and Fairy Hugs, and there is lots of great inspiration on there with all of these stamps. You can head over to fairystamper.com and you can pick up any of these stamps. You can go to the YouTube channel. Again, there's lots of great techniques on there, as well as just some ideas on how to do things, and maybe give you some ideas on how to do things a little bit easier or different than maybe you do them. So it's a great resource for you to be able to go to and check out. So like I said, I am going to stamp this on the inside, and I want to make sure I got a nice crisp clean sentiment so I can read it well. So I stamped that twice, and then I'm just going to piece this together. I am using some double-sided tape and just going to layer these. I am actually going to be mailing this card, so I did not add a lot of or I didn't add any sequins or things like that because I didn't want to give it any more bulk. But it is a little bit bulky because there are quite a few layers in here, so it gives it a nice solid card. And I like that it is layered with those little borders around it. I just think it gives it a nice clean finished look. And then, like I said, the inside, I have lots of room to write my what I want to say to the people, the person that I'm sending this to. And I used the cat. I wanted to use the cat and the dog originally because I had in mind of who I was sending this to when I started making this card. And she loves animals, cats and dogs, and particularly she has multiple of each. But cats are really her favorite, so I decided to go with the cats when I realized that this card was not going to be what I thought it was going to be. So that is the finished card. I hope everyone enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me. Take care and happy holidays.